Thank you so much to the RJC for welcoming me here tonight. I am truly excited to be a part of this summit. I hope you have all had a chance to experience some of the incredible technology and innovation Meta has showcased here throughout the weekend. I want to extend my sincere gratitude to RJC's CEO, Matt Brooks, for opening the door to Meta's participation in this event. For me, this event is deeply special. 25 years ago, as I was finishing 12th grade, I wrote a letter to Matt expressing my dream to intern for the RJC at the Republican National Convention in Philadelphia. I included a list of reasons why, even at 18, I believed I would be a valuable intern. And I'm sure many of the 18-year-olds and college students know exactly how that feels. To my surprise, I got the job. That week was unforgettable. Working at RJC events during the day, I probably made name tags for many of you here tonight, and attending the conventions in the evening. So before I continue, I just want to thank Matt for taking a chance on me. Much has happened in the past 25 years. After making Aliyah 18 years ago, I had the privilege of working for Minister Ron Dermer for nearly 8 years. It is a true honor to be speaking here with him at this summit. Ron is one of the most humble people I have ever met. Let me share just one story from almost a decade ago. When Ron Dermer was Israel's ambassador to the US, he made history as the first Israeli ambassador to host an event with the American president, then President Obama, at the Israeli embassy. But just before the big day, Washington, D.C. was hit by a big snowstorm. The plaza leading up to the hall was completely snowed in. Nobody could get through. And in true D.C. style, there was no one around to clear it. So what did Ambassador Dermer do? He grabbed a shovel and got to work himself, making sure the path was clear so the Secret Service could inspect and approve the area for the president's arrival. Those fortunate enough to know Ron and Rhoda Dermer witness what true partnership looks like and understand the real meaning of service to one's country. Minister Dermer, it is profoundly meaningful for me to thank you here in person, not only because it was an honor to work for you, but also because your over 20 years of service, marked by creativity, ingenuity, and sacrifice, have made a lasting impact on Israel and the Jewish people. Thank you so much. Reflecting on these experiences reminds me how much our community values partnership, service, and building the future. Today, in my role as Meta's Public Policy Director for Israel and the Jewish diaspora, these values guide my work every day. Our mission is to build the future of human connection and the technology that makes it possible. Over 3 billion people come to Meta's platforms every day to stay connected with their friends and family, build businesses, volunteer with organizations they care about, and share billions of pictures and videos about their lives. As we embrace our mission, we also face complex and evolving challenges, among them protecting free speech and striving to support the safety of our community. Our commitment to free expression is not just theoretical. It's tested in moments of crisis when the stakes are the highest. October 7th demonstrated how important it is for the Jewish community, a small minority, to have a voice. In a world where people were actually denying that Israelis had been kidnapped by terrorists, people around the world used online platforms to share their stories and call for their freedom. Meta has a unique policy that does not allow for the glorification, support, or representation of terrorist organizations. It might seem simple to enforce this policy, but consider the extraordinary challenges we face in ensuring people can speak out while also swiftly and effectively stopping terrorist propaganda. Shortly after October 7th, people began sharing footage of Hamas kidnapping Israelis. Some people were doing so to glorify Hamas, to celebrate the kidnappings. Of course, we strictly prohibit content with this intent. However, others were doing so to condemn the kidnappings, bring awareness to atrocities, or simply to refute the claims that they were staged or false. Our policies and our enforcement must be able to distinguish between pro- and anti-Hamas content in nuanced and often ambiguous situations at scale. This example shows that the cost of getting it wrong is enormous. On one hand, we risk giving credence to terrorists and their supporters. On the other hand, we risk silencing those who are speaking out against terrorism. Policy issues like this are what we deal with all the time. And that's why we have teams of policy, operational, and technology experts working around the clock and around the globe to dial in our enforcement and get it right. In this case, we developed a publicly available, nuanced policy and spent months monitoring the situation on the ground and on our platforms. I feel incredibly fortunate to play a role in this process. My role is to represent Meta in both Israel and to Jewish communities around the world. While we often focus on technology, innovation, and the future of AI, and I wish I had more time to discuss those topics here tonight, I know that many in the Jewish community are especially concerned right now about anti-Semitism. That's why I want to address these concerns with you directly. Some people have asked me why Meta removes so much content, while others wonder why we don't remove more. At first glance, these concerns might seem contradictory, but they actually highlight a real dilemma. People do not want tech companies interfering in political or social debates, but at the same time, they do not want to see terrorism, calls for violence, or other harmful content online. Our community standards include policies that prohibit hateful conduct, harassment, calls and incitement to violence, all part of a robust framework to combat anti-Semitism. We do not allow Holocaust denial and distortion. We prohibit harmful stereotypes targeting Jewish people, such as claims that Jews control financial, political, or media institutions. We remove hate speech attacks when the term Zionist is used, when the content uses harmful stereotypes like Zionists control the banks. And we remove content that threatens harm through intimidation or violence directed against Jews or Israelis under the guise of attacking Zionists. These are just a few of the many industry-leading policies our teams designed with the safety of the Jewish community in mind. Still, we recognize that this approach may allow some content that many find hurtful, untrue, or offensive. We know that these decisions, what to allow, what to remove, and how to draw the line are not easy, and we don't always agree. We understand that people are passionate about the role of social media platforms in facilitating debate, raising awareness, and combating harmful phenomena. These are challenging times in Israel and for the Jewish people. Yet throughout our history, even in the darkest moments, we have always sought to strengthen the bonds within our community. Today, connecting with one another across the globe is becoming more seamless than ever. Where once distance and circumstance made it difficult to come together, technology now bridges those gaps. Just as social media has united people across continents, AI is opening new doors, enabling us to share our collective knowledge and experiences in ways that we could have only dreamed of in the past. I wrote that letter to Matt 25 years ago because I wanted to be a part of something shaping our future. That's what motivates my work at Meta and why I'm proud to do it, despite all the heated debates that take place around social media, technology, and the company itself. And it's why I feel so privileged to stand with you here today. Thank you all so much.